Story 1. Update: Fiancée, F30, ghosted her job while pretending to go to work due to anxiety about getting promoted. She's since lost her job and is upset that I'm 31, upset. She, Rose, has been at her company for the past 6 years, and she works an office job in a non-customer facing company. We have also been together for the past 5 years and put off our wedding until after graduating and after COVID. Recently, she was chosen to be promoted to a position in a different department after someone was leaving the company, and we knew about the promotion for some time. The woman who was leaving wasn't leaving until a certain date. But, she was excited about the raise and getting promoted to a manager after years of wanting to be. However, as she neared closer to the date of the promotion, she began to ghost her job and ignore various warnings/calls about absences because of her anxiety surrounding it, anxiety she never chose to voice until after she had been fired for ghosting them for weeks. She would go to work in the morning and return at the time that her normal shift would end. But, after she got fired, she wanted to talk to me, and she told me that she lied about going to work for the past 2.5 weeks. When I asked her what happened, she said that her team wanted to throw her a small party to celebrate her promotion before she would leave. But, the party made her anxious because she doesn't like to be celebrated because it's embarrassing. She also said that public speaking gave her anxiety too, and after learning that she would have to say a few words in a bigger joint meeting after receiving the new promotion, she couldn't bring herself to go to work and found other things to do during the time she was supposed to be there. She said that she'd often stay in her car on her phone or go to the gym or a friend sometimes, and over the course of those 2 weeks, she ignored calls/emails from her job on her absences until she was fired after numerous warnings. She's since said that she wants to go to therapy to work on her anxiety before looking for a new job, and she asked if I could cover the expenses in the meantime. I told her no because first, she lied about going to work for over 2 weeks, got dressed and only wanted to talk after getting fired. I told her that I didn't appreciate her lying or entitlement to ask me to cover bills for a few months before she searches for a new job, and she said that I was being unfair because she's planning to go to therapy. While I told her that therapy is good, I said I needed a break to reconsider our relationship/engagement away from her, and she was fine with staying with a friend for a few days. However, when I called 2 days later and said I was done and wanted her to remove whatever belongings she didn't take with her, she and her friend began posting that I hit her when we talked, which is why she's breaking it off. Aside from texting mutual friends, she's also reached out to my job and had me talk to about it from my boss when I had no clue and found out during the meeting. I'm writing this because I want to ask if anyone's been in anything similar and how to manage this. I feel I was respectful in taking 2 days to myself before inviting her to remove her things whenever worked for her, but she just keeps posting about me hitting her and making fun of her for seeking therapy. Edit: the thing that made me the most upset was when she said that she would not go back to work for a few months until therapy was done, and now that she left her company, wanted me to pay for her to go to therapy too after she lost her benefits, something I forgot to add in my post along with saying that I can afford it because of my salary. Update: as I stated last time about her response, she took to Twitter and said that I hit her after she admitted her anxiety to me, and she also wrote that she decided to break up with me after she opened up and that I became aggressive and was against mental health. She also reached out to my job, which led to me getting called to the office, and since my last post, her friend has joined her in spreading lies too, the friend who she was staying with. Stacy, her friend, fake name, posted about how my ex-fiancé crashed with her because I was aggressive in the past and didn't want her to accept the promotion. She also posted that I was jealous and insecure and threatening her to not accept it too. I've since reached out to a lawyer who has been helping me a ton, but I've lost some friends who decided to take her side, and she didn't even have the decency to get her stuff. She sent 2 of her friends while she waited in the car, completely refusing to see me at all, and while I didn't lose my current job, she called another job that she knew I was interviewing for some time, and I haven't heard back about my second interview since. I'm discussing how we can address that with my lawyer at the moment, but I wanted to ask how to move on from not only her, but also the friends who took her side and how it's crept into other areas too. It's just been really stressful seeing a new side of her through her lies, and it's really come as a shock in many ways. It's like she's done a 180 so fast, and it's really hard to focus on other things or gain sleep too. Update. We would have been married already if not for COVID making us delay plans, but after everything that happened, I believe it was for the best. A manager in a different department of her office was retiring, and she was chosen to be promoted in her place. Her promotion wouldn't start until the woman left, and it would have been the first she's ever been a manager in her life. However, as the promotion neared, she decided to ghost her job and pretend to go to work after years of wanting to become a manager, and it resulted in her being fired. She'd leave for work at her usual morning time and return in the evening as she always did, but even after she was fired, she didn't come clean until another week had passed. When I asked her what happened, she said that her team wanted to throw her a small party before her last day and that it gave her anxiety. She also said that she hated being celebrated and felt anxious about having to speak at a joint meeting after receiving the promotion. So she pretended to go to work instead, ghosting work calls too, getting dressed in the morning for 2 weeks before getting fired and going to a friend's or the gym with a change of clothes. When she came clean, she said that she wanted to go to therapy to work on herself and that she wanted me to pay for it because I could afford it, while also covering her side of rent, and that was when I said I needed a break after her lying for 3+ weeks to reconsider everything. I told her I needed a day, and she agreed to stay at a friend's, and 2 days later, I told her I was done and wanted her to collect her things, but that was when she started to slander me. What happened since? As I stated last time about her response, she took to Twitter and said that I hit her after she admitted her anxiety to me, and she also wrote that she decided to break up with me after she opened up and that I became aggressive and was against mental health. She also reached out to my job, which led to me getting called to the office, and since my last post, her friend has joined her in spreading lies too, the friend who she was staying with. Stacy, her friend, fake name, posted about how my ex-fiancé crashed with her because I was aggressive in the past and didn't want her to accept the promotion. She also posted that I was jealous and insecure and threatening her to not accept it too. I've since reached out to a lawyer who has been helping me a ton, but I've lost some friends who decided to take her side, and she didn't even have the decency to get her stuff. She sent 2 of her friends while she waited in the car, completely refusing to see me at all, and while I didn't lose my current job, she called another job that she knew I was interviewing for some time, and I haven't heard back about my second interview since. I'm discussing how we can address that with my lawyer at the moment, but I wanted to ask how to move on from not only her, but also the friends who took her side and how it's crept into other areas too. It's just been really stressful seeing a new side of her through her lies, and it's really come as a shock in many ways. It's like she's done a 180 so fast, and it's really hard to focus on other things or gain sleep too. Story 2. Big blow up with my wife. Yesterday evening I was the happiest I have been for a long time. I got promoted, my wife got a job. We were having more intimacy. We wrote love language cards for each other and were taking it on turns Friday and Saturday night to do something for each other. It was all heading in the right direction. We had a bottle of wine together last night. Then today, I took the kids out for the morning. My wife was cleaning the house. I decided to hold out for the day with the kids so she could have time to herself and maybe relax a bit. I was grateful for the cleaning. Come 5:45 p.m. when I get home, I was tired and she was too from cleaning. I asked if she had enough energy to put the kids to bed. I was pretty tired and hoping she would, but would have done it if she had said she didn't have it in her. I tightened up the boys' beds as they had got a bit wobbly. I left the Allen keys on the side in one of the rooms and she complained saying, "Can't anybody put anything away? I've been cleaning all day." I came down and took the Allen keys back. She was bathing the kids and trying to vacuum while they were in the bath. They got water up the walls and she lost it with them. First just telling them it wasn't acceptable. Then while the youngest, who is 2, was screaming back at her and she started yelling. I was trying to relax upstairs and clean our bathroom, and I went downstairs calmly to help. I asked if everything was okay, she explained what was happening. I then went to make a milk bottle for our youngest. He always has a milk before bed and we generally don't announce it in front of him because it is all he thinks about if you say the word. So I went down to make it and when I was halfway downstairs she said, "Well by then?" So I came back up and I could feel myself getting annoyed, and said, "I'm trying to help, I was just going to make a milk." She then started yelling at me saying, "It's too early for a milk, do something helpful." I asked what would help and she said, "I dunno, maybe make the bed for him." I didn't realize that the bed wasn't made, so started to make it. Then she started complaining about having to do everything. And it was at this point I lost it. She hadn't done everything, I had taken the boys out all day, I had been doing so much while she got settled into her new job. More of the school runs, more of the evenings, more of the weekends. She had been cleaning hard that day admittedly, but throughout our parenting journey we've both acknowledged that looking after the children all day is harder than almost anything else. It's obviously not that hard and I love our days together. Now here's where I fucked up. I just went into a massive rage, I thumped a door in the room I was in. Told her to fuck off in front of the children. She left. I calmed down a bit. Finished bathing them calmly. They were both crying. I made the bed after. She started banging things and throwing things down the stairs. I yelled, "Stop banging and throwing things." I can't remember what she said but my rage flared up again. I said, "I'd rather do this whole thing on my own than with you. I'm sick of you yelling at the children, see previous posts about this. Just go home, to her home country, and get out." She then went back upstairs and slammed the door. The kids are also pretty upset at this point. I go up for no good reason other than to yell more, but she'd locked the bathroom door. My elder son wanted to cuddle her. So I took him to her. Everyone calmed down. I went downstairs and she put them to sleep. She had put all the cards we made in the bin. Now I don't know what to do. Is there any coming back from this? We were making enormous progress. I know therapy is the answer, but this fight happens literally an hour ago, so I can't suggest it right now. Whether or not we get couples therapy, I now have access to some mental health programs at work which I'll take. Last year I was so rageful and I stopped drinking and got to a really good place. Then I'm thinking I'm right back where I don't want to be, unable to control my anger. And I think having the wine may be part of the reason. I probably had 2/3 of a bottle. I hate myself for slipping up and ruining all the hard work we've put in. Things were so good last night and have been for a few weeks since she started her job. I don't know what my next steps should be. The old me would send a long text message. But I'm not going to do that. I know we are hurting the children. I know I have to get back in control of my anger. I know I need to be more patient with her comments that trigger me. Please help me with the next step. Update, thanks for all the advice. I went up this morning with a coffee and said sorry, sincerely. And said when she's ready to, I'll explain the changes I'm going to make with myself. She said, "You are going to have to let me feel what I feel for a while. I'm not ready to talk." I said that's fair and I understand. But that I wanted to apologize to her in front of the boys so they can see for themselves. She said, "Thank you.